Welcome to Behind the Claw. We are going to be picking up where we left off last week. These guys have taken a requested mission from the Sword World's naval intelligence officer, Kurt Avos. He contacted them with a cryptic message and an encoded attachment that basically they the Sword World's intelligence was expecting an operative. He was doing some spy stuff over in the Lunian Shield worlds in the Imperium, and he was making his way back home with data. He was overdue. He was supposed to have been picked up by a merchant ship that was scheduled to pick him up from Mithril and head to Biter, and it never arrived. And so he requested that the travelers go and investigate, see what happened. And that's about all they were told. He did deposit 300,000 credits into a bank account for them at Flammarion, and it is noted that they can pick up another 300,000 upon arriving at Biter to basically give any information that they have. It's pretty much an open-ended situation. He didn't say, they have to retrieve the intelligence or they have to get the operative. It was find out what's going on and let him know. And so they made their way to Mithril, and upon landing, there was a large flash. All the power in the ship went out, and they fell the last meter or so, landing hard on the deck. Come to find out, all of their gravitic governors were burned out. Now, one might burn out, and they've got 5 tons of spares, but this is not usually a component that goes bad. And so all of the gravitic governors in the entire ship were fried all simultaneously. And the gravitic governors in Audrey's G-Bike were fried. So none of those vehicles work. And so they are on the tarmac looking at the Mithril Downport, which appears to be vacant. They see nobody moving around. There are no tracks in the snow. The only movement that they can see is a radar dish that is slowly spinning on the roof of the administration building. They did note that the snow blind is down in front of the accommodation block, and that it does show some signs of high energy scoring, like what you might see from a ship's laser. And that's where we left off, and we will be picking that up now. And if you are a Traveler player, go check out, and there will be a link in the description below. Go check out Mystic Bull Games. They have these great Traveler journals. One is the Star Traveler's Logbook, the other is the Scout Captain's Rudder. And there are a number of places in these for filling out personnel records, port reports, patron contracts. There's 26 weeks worth of journal pages, and they're spiral bound and lay flat design, or however you want to set them up. There are pages with blank sector maps in here. There's all sorts of stuff in here. Fantastic if you are a player and you want to keep notes and track the progress of your game. So go check out Mystic Bull, and let them know that we sent you over there. All right, so yeah, you guys are standing on the tarmac and you don't see anybody moving around. What would you guys like to do?
Oh, Audrey wants to go to the vehicle garage to see if they have the parts that
Okay.
broke.
Well, hold on. Not saying you're wrong. Maybe we should check what's the status of all our other systems, or is it just the gravitics that are fried?
The power did come back on. There is a bit of a smell like an overheated car stereo in the bridge, but beyond that, everything seems to be fine. It was only the governors for the gravitics that were completely fused.
Okay, all right, then Audrey has a good idea. Let's go. I will go with Audrey, I suppose.
All right, what are you and Clanker doing, Zerzy?
I would like to scour my database on my tablet and or on the ship's core and see if I can figure out what kind of weapon could have done this.
Okay.
Because I know my tablet bought the largest possible space for like any information. I don't know if I would assume a weapon, like if it's a common kind of weapon, it may be in there. I don't know.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a. Go ahead and make a electron. Your choice, either an investigate plus intellect or electronics computers plus your database software, and you get a +1 to that because of your agent.
$14.
Okay. Hold on just a moment. Trying to fix this token.
While you do that, I would tell these two that I will probably, for right now, stay with the ship with Clanker.
Yeah.
And just kind of keep an eye out and tell them if worst case scenario something really bad happens, you tell me which building needs to be shot with one of our cannons, and I'll get rid of the building.
Roger, Roger.
Okay, so the vehicle garage is, I mean, all of these buildings are basically, your arch typical, prefab brick style buildings. This one is a windowless brick shaped building, and there's a large access door on the front, and the access door is currently shut. There is a side entrance, personnel entrance, and the door's not locked. You guys kind of step in, and you immediately, the first thing that you guys know is like this walk from the tarmac to the vehicle garage is pretty cold. Let's see. Of course, now I gotta take a look because I don't know. Let's see. I gotta look at this other map real quick. Okay, so that makes it easy. Ignore all other DMs. All right. So yeah, it is cold, and cold means that the average temperature when you guys step out of the ship is -10 degrees Celsius.
Huh.
And it is about midday, which means it's only going to get colder as the sun goes down. To let you know, Mithril has a 20-hour day with roughly 10 hours of sunlight and 10 hours of darkness. So right now it's about -10 below, but it's probably going to drop at least another 20 degrees after nightfall. And the reason why
we'll
this
want
is
to be indoors then.
right. And the reason why I bring this up is because as you step into the vehicle garage, it is immediately notable that the interior of the garage is heated. And this, of course, would prevent any vehicles in there from freezing up and causing problems. Two things that you immediately notice is that there is an ATV that is parked in the middle of this garage. And it has a large snowplow on the front, and it looks like this. It is a big, beefy, Sword Worlds type wheeled ATV.
Casimir says, "Ooh, free ATV, nice."
Yes. You will notice that it has a turret, but there's no weapon in it. It's It's just a turret that somebody would be able to sit in for, I don't know, having a higher vantage point, being able to see ahead, things like that. That's sitting in there. You also, the second thing that you immediately notice is that there is a cradle very similar to the one in your hangar space on Stubborn Bastard for Audrey's G bike. And this is one that is about the. It is. You've seen these before. It is a cradle for an air raft. However, the air raft is missing.
All right. Without actually like going through and getting a full inventory, is there like a pile of parts or like what appears to be part storage here?
There is an assortment of manual tools, snow shovels, and a few. There's a couple of spares for the ATV and the air raft, but not in the range of items that you would be able to use in order to fix your ship.
Right. Okay, but there's parts available. That's the
Yeah,
that's
there are some parts available. They're not. So the parts that are available seem to be in an open crate, like it was carried here from somewhere else, opened and has been sorted through, or something was used and then whoever stayed here never took it back and put it back into inventory from wherever they got it. So it's a bit scattered. You don't. Other than that, that is all you're initially seeing in the garage.
Okay. Then do you want to split up and search for clues, or do you want to hang together? Because I want to check the administration building and set up a connection for Zerzy to hack in.
Well, Kashmir can go to the administrative building while Audrey works on searching for parts that might fit our ship.
Okay. So Audrey, you can go ahead and make a investigate plus intellect check.
Investigate plus intellect. Okay, can Audrey take time to get the
Sure.
set the +2? Okay, because we're not in a hurry. Yay!
Nice. So let's see. Your initial investigation, you look around the garage, you don't find any additional parts. Like I said, there's just these few parts, and there is, of course, an assortment of wrenches, and there's, the obligatory hammer because percussive maintenance always works. And there's a couple of, obviously, snow shovels. There's probably about 4 snow shovels of various size and in various states of decay. Some having been used much more than others. When you search inside the front cabin of the ATV, you do find that the keys, which are actually a data storage device with a finger grip, giving it the impression of like a key, is actually in the driver's access slot. It's just sitting there. Pretty obvious that the team that was here at this downport, it's got a snow shovel on the front. They probably didn't want to have to lose the key, so nobody's going to be here to steal it, right? And so they just left it in the ignition, and whoever needed to use it to shovel snow just hopped in and fired it up. The batteries on the ATV are fully charged, good for 100 years at cruise speed. And let's see, what else? So Audrey, go ahead and roll your choice of any engineering skill plus either intellect or education.
Okay, engineering. Engineering.
Okay. So the thought occurs to Audrey. So there's this cradle. You're not finding anything else in here. Like I said, racks in the back garage, maintenance tools for the ATV, assortment of manual tools such as snow shovels, and most are in their racks and have seen very little use. But looking at this empty this empty air raft rack, the thought occurs to you that an air raft would have the governor circuits that you need in order to repair the ship. But the air raft is gone.
Audrey makes a note of that for later.
All right. So, Zerzi, you kind of feed the data from the the local data net for Mithril is a desert. There's literally nothing here. The only thing that comes up on the data net is this downport and the one lone little auto repeater beacon satellite that's in orbit that basically tells everybody to fuck off to the next planet and go to a gas giant to refuel, right? So there's literally nothing else in Mithril. You're not even seeing any like outer colonies or mining operations. None of that exists. This is the only thing you're seeing. So it's not like you're going to be able to pull a whole bunch of information other than what's in your computer already. But your computer comes back, and the best that it can do is that the scoring that you are seeing in the front of the accommodation block with its fabric snow blind down appears to be it could be from a high energy output weapon such as a beam laser from a starship. Is about as far as that database that computer search goes. I mean, it's suggesting that it looks like it's high yield enough, like a beam laser that was underpowered from a starship would have made that kind of mark.
Am I able to have my agent in the background run like if I ask it try to think of a known weapon that could essentially EMP a ship only a meter off the ground, knocking out all of its whatever's damaged. Can I have it do something like that in the background as I'm doing other stuff?
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then I would radio to Kaz and Audrey saying that the energy weapon damage that we saw came from a low-powered starship weapon. You would say, does it look like a laser beam or like
No, I mean the computer, the database specifically says looks like a underpowered beam laser from a starship.
Okay. So that I'll report that to him. Just to be safe, I will have Clanker sit. I assume I have to be specific on which gun he's sitting on, the top or bottom.
Yeah, that would be good because they are different.
I'm gonna have him sit in the top.
Now I gotta
And
look
just
at
kind
it so I remember which one that is. Let's see here.
I have it wrote down somewhere.
I can bring up. Here is the sheet.
Is the top the dorsal or ventral?
Dorsal.
Dorsal is top.
The
Ventral
top is the particle beam missile rack sandcaster, from what I have.
Correct. Yeah. So you're gonna have him in the dorsal turret. All right.
Would I know, or I guess if I wanted to send a warning / distress beacon, to change the beacon being like something is going on Mithril, EMP has struck our ship, we are currently stranded here.
Oh yeah.
Would I do that, or could I send that to the repeater or something?
So in order for you could do that, yes. And that is probably a really good idea. You would have to you would likely have to do that directly from the administration building though.
Okay.
Well, as luck would have it, I'm about to patch you in, so.
Well, yeah, I'm just going to report to them, let them know that Clanker's kind of keeping an eye in the sky since a spaceship weapon did this damage, and I want to try to send out some sort of SOS beacon and kind of warn people that something is wrong here.
Okay. So you're working on that, and we'll come back to you on that as soon as Casimir gets you patched in. So Casimir, you come up to the administration building. Basically looks a lot like the other ones. It's very thick-walled and blocky, and it has a small vestibule that is intended to basically reduce heat and provide somewhere to leave cold weather clothing like jackets and whatnot. Which you guys probably don't have any. I mean, your best bet would be probably be tromping around in some kind of vac suit because it -10 is chilly. That's like you're gonna be cutting glass with that with your nipples. It's so cold, right? But this vestibule, there's racks and there's a couple of coats hanging there. Again, there's a couple of snow shovels, and as you pass in, it it would be this vestibule would be what you would expect and be rather unremarkable, except that immediately upon entering, you start to smell the lingering smell of like a solvent-based cleaning product. And you can see on the floor every so often that on the floor there is an odd reddish stain on the floor. And it immediately appears to you that somebody has attempted to clean up quite a lot of blood. You can make a recon plus intellect check.
Could I do that with medicine instead, or no?
No, not yet.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And I do have specialized, and I get a 10.
Okay, and so you, in addition to it being obvious that somebody tried to clean up blood, you see that there are a couple of bullets embedded in the parkas that are hanging on the wall. But the bullets themselves are too flattened to really identify them much more than the fact that they were.
That was going to be my next question. Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, I do report to the team that there's signs of hostility. How old do I think this blood looks cleaned up? Like, are we talking the stains have completely browned out? Is it still like reddish?
It's still reddish, but that could also be from the cold, cleaning solvent and the cold.
Oh, okay. And the cold and the cleaning solvent.
You can go ahead and make a medic plus education check, and you can get your not necessarily.
I wouldn't get my med kit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not gonna. It would be. You wouldn't get the med kit. This would be more of a forensics kit kind of situation.
Yeah, which I don't have. So then I would be rolling at a minus. Well, I mean, with my bonuses, but with a -2. Actually, the autodoc has a biolab. So once I collect the data, okay, well that's still a 10, even with the -2. So
eyeballing this, your guess is that this may have happened within anywhere from the last 3 days to 2 weeks.
Okay, all right. Well, still, regardless, I'll send a copy of the data over to the autodoc, and so it's just in storage. Again, reporting to the team that hey, there's been violence and relatively recent. I mean, I'll proceed up to. I'm going to assume that there's like a fire escape map or whatever. The little layout thing. So
kind of, yeah. There's probably. I mean, it doesn't really list it, but there's probably a back door back here. So when you leave the vestibule, you enter into the large central space of the building. It's the admin center.
So it's not multi-floor. Okay.
Yeah, no, and this was clearly intended to house like all of the port staff. And it looks like they took a bunch of desks, and they made a double row of desks that have been pushed together in the middle of the chamber, and the entire admin center is strewn with spare clothing, several sets of what appear to be homemade skis formed from a resilient plastic, although you note looking at them that the experiment does not seem to have been very successful because there are cracks all throughout these plastic skis. There is another large reddish stain, much like the one in the vestibule. in the doorway to the communication center, and there are other doors that are all open that lead into various small offices in here.
Okay,
And
so
you immediately see that um, the wall around the door to the communication center is pockmarked and riddled with a considerable number of bullet holes.
I'm afraid I'm afraid I'm about to have some bad news, Zerzy, but stay with me here. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna check the other stuff later, but I'm gonna go into the communication room and see if the communication is still active.
So yeah, this room is very small. It's basically just big enough for a chair to sit in front of all of these full like 3 decks high electronics in kind of a U shape around whoever's sitting there. And it's only big enough for like if the chair is pushed in and then the door can close kind of situation. Um,
Center, I'll tell you this: if a guy comes in trying to shoot a dog and babbling in Norwegian, no, I'm just not dealing with that.
so you can see that most of the systems are up and running and functional. Go ahead and make
Okay.
a investigate plus intellect check.
I don't think I'm very good at investigate. This is true. I'm not. I should get a thing for it, shouldn't I? Oh, investigate. This is not my forte.
Yeah, all the lights are on. Everything seems to be up and running.
Okay, well, all right. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna connect my ComDot. Basically, I wanna route a connection for Zerzy to be able to access the computer here through. I have a portable computer with me. I have a com. I have my neural com. Presumably, yeah, presumably I can set up a channel for him to do this.
Go ahead and make a electronics comms plus intellect check.
I can do this. Why
And
can't
let's see.
why don't I have a bonus to this?
You get a +3 to that for tech level too.
Yeah, no, but that's not what I meant. I meant why don't I have a bonus to this on my character sheet? Okay, whatever. Who cares? I'll figure it out. Yeah, so with a +3, that's a 12.
Okay. So yeah, Zerzy, your systems on Stubborn Bastard register that you uplink established. You are connected. You have basically a VPN connection to the administration building.
All right, yeah. First thing I want to do is change the automated message to whatever date and time is that my character would know.
Sure.
And say that the Stubborn Bastard is stranded on Mithril at the station. An EMP seems to have knocked out our drives, and we request assistance.
Okay. Go ahead and make a electronics computers plus intellect, and because you've got this connection, you get an automatic +2 to that. Nice. So yeah, you are able to alter the automated beacon, and basically it's broadcasting this somewhat of a distress message for you. The other thing that you notice, Cersei, now that you are connected directly to the administration building, is that the administration building's comm center is registering that all of the data storage cores from the comm system are missing.
Huh. And you said that the radar, is that a radar dish on top of number 6?
Yeah, it's a comms dish.
Oh, okay.
Little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
I was gonna say if it's a radar type dish, I would love to see if I could get it to kind of ping the area and see if anything's around. If it's not a radar, then never mind.
Yeah, it's more of a comms antenna.
Okay.
Anything else that Jersey is doing?
I'll inform them that the data cores of the station are gone, and actually, I'm not sure. Does Does our ship have any kind of? Well, we have military sensors. Can I know that we're landed, but am I able to like ping them at all for anything to see if anything's around, like the raft that's missing or anything that seems out of the ordinary?
You can make an electronic sensors plus intellect check at +0, because you don't get any bonus for military grade sensors. That just means the sensors went to the lowest bidder.
Okay.
Yeah, they're military grade.
Right.
She's
Still
good
got
enough.
Still got a 12.
like the scene in The Shield. Oh, you could trust him. He was in military intelligence. That just means he carried extra batteries for the guy with the comm unit. You scan, and the most immediate thing that you register nearby, and keep in mind that your sensors aren't going to be ultra great because you're at ground level right now, but your sensors aren't picking up a whole lot of anything other than probably within 50 clicks of you. You registered that there is a large mass of like Arctic taiga forest, and so what this is that Mithril has in a couple of places these taiga forests of this low, scrubby, vine-like shrubbery that grows. And when I say low, I mean the highest, the tallest that it maybe grows is maybe 10 meters. And it's just a thick mass of vegetation that would be very difficult to get through. And so you do see that they're within like 50 clicks. Let's see which direction this is. 50 clicks, kind of northwest, west, and southwest.
Okay, I'll let them know. I'm gonna make an educated guess, and there's probably some sort of geothermal heating or something that's keeping these plants alive in this cold environment.
So
Or is it more complicated than that?
Yes and no. You can go ahead and make a investigate plus intellect check. Or education, your choice.
It's going to be an intellect check at -3 because I don't have investigate. No idea.
So, no, with a 6, you are able to pull up a little bit of information. So, what little information that you are able to pull up, these taiga forests are common on Mithril. The other thing that's common is something called hold on here. It was on the tip of my tongue and I lost ephemeral glade. So what an ephemeral glade is is that occasionally the weather will suddenly change and the temperatures will come up and there will be a thawing. And when that happens, the plant life in that area that is thawing can grow so fast that you can actually watch the plants grow. I mean, it grows quick. And then all of the whatever animal life that comes out will come out and devour the vegetation, and there will be a mating frenzy and a whole lot of egg laying, and then the temperature will change again, which then causes what's left of the ephemeral glade to die off, and then it snows, and it's just this constant cycle of these glades popping up. It also brings the other information that brings up is some information about wildlife. The two that specifically come up is a creature called the Raucous. That is not its scientific name. That is what the Sword Worlders have assigned the name to it. It is a flying scavenger that will devour anything organic and will attempt to eat just about anything else, even if it isn't organic. There are some warnings about the Raucous coming down and attacking, seals around windows, or attempting to attack any kind of seal on a vac suit. The other creature that is well known is a lizard, reptilioid scavenger kind of creature called a calamander, and it specifically states that there are 3 types of calamander. There is a large, extremely large female that barely ever leaves the warren. It is attended to by the most common type of calamander, which is the males, and they are a little bit smaller, about the size of a badger. They are amphibious, and usually they will tend to flee or try to hide if they are threatened, but they are known for making a high-pitched squealing sound, which attracts other calamanders. And the third type is a large, beefy calamander that is simply referred to as a protector. They can be extremely violent and will attack in order to protect the warren. And it is noted that the calamanders are attracted to shiny objects and have been known to steal them and try to hide them in their warrens. Those are the two that pop up. So that's all the information you really get.
So yeah, I will be sure to send all that to Kaz and Audrey. Once again, letting Kaz know that the data cores for this outpost have been, so that we know that they're taken and not destroyed. Like, it's not reading that they're damaged.
It's registering that they're missing.
Okay, and that there's 3 taiga forests within 50 kilometers of us that the military sensors can't penetrate.
Audrey, what are you doing?
Audrey walks over to the reactor shed to look at the reactor.
Okay. So, this reactor shed, really solid building. It's got thick walls. There's no windows. But there is a single entrance, and it is a heavy door that's closed, but it's not locked. And when you step inside, it is a very compact, small building. There is, in the middle of this room, is a compact fusion reactor that's been adapted for use on the base, and it's a typical Sword Worlds design. You saw this design of reactor when you were aboard Skander, and it would be one that would normally power small starships. And according to the readout, the reactor's fuel reserves are contained in a series of large tanks that are under the landing pad right here at 2. And there is a series of, according to the diagram that is next to this, is that there are a series of pipes that go under the landing pad to Area 3, where they have dug out these artificial dips in the ground where they basically collect snow, and that snow water goes down into the pipes to the artificial tanks where it is collected and can then be converted into hydrogen fuel for the reactor. Essentially, this reactor is not going to go offline. On here. The other thing that you notice is that there is against the wall is a makeshift electronics workshop. It's basically it's like a it's like a wood workbench that your dad would have put in the garage, kind of thing. And it's just makeshift, and it is in complete disarray. It looks like it might have been ransacked, but there's just parts of things laying all over the place. Most have been dismantled or fiddled with in some way, and there's scrap electronics wire. There's a soldering iron. There's a whole bunch of stuff over here that are just laying all across the room. You can make a Recon plus Intellect check. Oof.
Notices nothing.
Yikes. Yeah, so you find this electronics workbench, and the other thing you notice is that of all the crap that's on this workbench, you see several of these large, probably about 0.8 meters long. They're large coils that have been made of various different wire components and what look like probably like copper. But there's probably about 3 of these things this laying about on the workbench.
Hmm.
Is there anything else you'd like
All
to
right.
do?
Well, then Audrey will want to do a diagnostic of the reactor.
Okay. Go ahead and make a engineering power plus intellect check. Or education, your choice.
Okay, doing that.
Okay. Yeah, diagnostic shows that the entire base is powered up. That, you know, like literally this reactor's not going to be powered off anytime soon. However, running the diagnostic, it does register that there was an EMP event that caused the reactor to go into an emergency shutdown mode, where the event went off and its automated emergency circuits caused the reactor to immediately shut down, and then within 10 minutes it rebooted into its current state. Doesn't
All
seem
right.
to have been harmed.
Audrey messages to Casimir that everything seems fine with the reactor.
Okay. Casimir, so you said you were going to check the other rooms. Yep, Casimir stepped.
Also, Kaz, your mic's muted.
He might have stepped away.
Yeah,
Oh, there he
okay,
is.
okay, yeah, my mic was muted. Yeah, okay, sorry, no, yeah, I was back and listening. Yes, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you find a couple of offices that are very small. They basically have little more than like a computer workstation and a couple of shelves. You can see that one looked like it was pretty much routinely occupied, while the other looks like whoever may have been on duty didn't really. People shuffled around from that office. There was no permanent resident, and it just doesn't seem like that second office was used very much. In the one that was occupied, go ahead and make a investigate plus intellect check.
Oh boy. Where to go? Investigate plus intellect. Yeah, that wasn't not expecting much. I do have specialize if that matters, but
so on the desk you do find a portable computer, basically a tablet that has the port records, and they of course can be accessed from any of the other terminals. But the portable computer is locked. It is currently in a lock screen mode.
I messaged Zerzy to have Clanker come and pick it up and deliver it to him.
Sure. Clanker makes some complaint about the cold and tromping out the airlock. Noting around, the other thing that you find, there is a secure storage chamber. Basically, it is kind of like a secure weapons vault.
Oh, okay. Do I think it's one of the ones with a self-destruct, or do I think it's not?
Doesn't matter. The door is ajar and open, and when you kind of look inside, you find that it was used to be as an armory, and you find a homemade still in there that is still dripping out some kind of hooch. There are racks for 12 long arms and about the same number of pistols, but there's no signs of any weapons or ammunition. You see that there is some webbing. There's cleaning equipment that still remains, and the armory is obvious. It's obvious that it has been looted, and there's only there are 6 bottles of White Lightning left in the secure storage chamber.
Huh. All right, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna pour some of it out into like I find like a bowl or something to hold it in, and then I'm gonna set it on fire. See how well it burns.
Yes, it burns quite well. Yeah, the reason why I'm laughing is because you sound like my brother-in-law. I guess when he was a little kid, he used to find anything that would burn, and he would burn them in order to see how well they burned, what they looked like when they burned. Like,
Well, so two things. First of all, technically we're in a survival situation. First of all, and you want to like make an inventory of the fuel you have open. That's the first thing.
true.
The second thing is, generally speaking, like you can tell a lot of like you can tell something about the chemical composition of an item based on how it burns and like what happens when you expose it to heat. So okay, so what this basically means. Yeah, so basically what this means is that we have, 6 jars worth of, good burning fuel. So I could come in handy, you know?
Yeah, no,
Or
yeah,
boarding wounds.
you've got, you definitely have some decent burning fuel. So the door, as you're kind of going through the secure storage locker, the door opens up and Clanker comes stepping in, and he's of course wearing his pimp hat, and you can see that there's a bit of snow on him, and he says that it has begun to snow, and it's getting colder, and Clanker kind of grabs his arms and shakes like it would actually affect him, and then he goes over and he picks up the data pad and off into the snow I go again, and he clomps off out of the administration building and heads back towards Stubborn Bastard.
Clanker's a personality now.
Yes, he's starting to get one. Yes. Anything else that Casimir's doing?
I think at this point I'm gonna stash the white lightning and start heading over to 7, the accommodation block, and tell Audrey to meet me there once she's done ask Audrey to meet me there once she's done with the reactor.
Okay. Audrey, what are you doing?
Audrey goes to the accommodation block.
Okay. So you guys kind of meet at the front of the accommodation block, and so you can see that the snow screen is down, and basically, if you've ever seen those retractable awnings that people put on their house for sunblock or whatever, that's essentially what this kind of thing is. It has been put down, and it is designed to prevent snow from piling up in front of the door, and it also can help heat loss when the door is opened. It is down, and so you have and it's kind of at a weird angle, and you raise it up. You can see this large score, carbon scoring mark on it. It looks like it was from a low energy starship laser, and you kind of raise it up, and that's when you immediately notice that the entire front of the accommodation block has been blasted. Like, it looks like whoever blasted it and did whatever they were going to do, then pulled the snow screen down to like hide the damage.
Huh.
And looking at it, you can immediately tell that this was a low-powered starship beam laser. I mean, the front is partially melted, and it's all blackened from the excessive heat. And going in, you step into the main chamber. It's set up a lot like the central area of the administration block, except that it is immediately clear to you that there was a vicious gunfight here. Several of the tables have been turned over and used as cover. There's numerous bullet holes in furniture, and there are chips that have been blown out of the wall. Casimir, you're looking around. You're estimating that well over 100 rounds were fired in here.
Yeah.
Most of the casings have been cleaned up, but every once in a while you can see that there is a shell casing on the ground. And both you and Audrey immediately recognize these shell casings. They are typical of a sword world or small arms, um, or of a generic type that is commonly used on the frontiers, um, and in the Imperium. The central dining table has been turned over and used as a barricade. It is riddled with bullet holes, and there is a large reddish stain on the table and floor behind it that has been once again cleaned up with what appears to be a solvent. And there are a number of rooms off of here. There's a kitchen. There are a couple of configurable chambers. One of them has been set up as a lounge, and the other is a gym. And then there are a number of small accommodation pods that are off of this building. Where would you like to investigate in here?
I guess maybe start with. See, this is interesting because a lot of stuff. I know it's just the earliest part of the investigation, so a lot of the stuff isn't adding up yet. But, you know,
It's
well,
clear
okay,
that it's clear that some shit went down.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so the question is where did the winners go, right? And why was there fighting in two buildings rather than one? Anyway, whatever. So Kaz's primary training is as a medic. So let's check out those accommodation block. Maybe there's remnants there that he can study or something.
Okay, so did you want to start in the kitchen, the configurable chambers, or the accommodation room?
I guess the accommodation room. Let's start there.
Okay.
Audrey, if let's split up and search for clues. I mean, Audrey, if you want to check out the kitchen or the configuration room, yeah, why not?
Audrey goes to the kitchen.
Okay.
There you go.
So, Audrey, you go into the kitchen, and it is well equipped with a number of gadgets that can basically crap out food and meals for up to about 20 people at once. It seems that there are large stocks of food that are in foil packs or small sealed containers. There are perishable items such as meat and some frozen vegetables and fruit that are kept in cold storage. And it doesn't seem like it has been overly disturbed, but you can make a recon plus intellect check.
Yes. Audrey gets distracted and eats the meat and then looks for clues.
The frozen meat, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the food is too distracting.
That cannot be possible. You did that twice?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, wait. 1 plus 3 plus negative 3. Yeah, wow, that is some terrible luck. So, yeah,
that's exactly what my character would do.
That's probably true. You find a bunch of food. Probably not chewing on the frozen meat. You probably find a energy bar, and it's packed with protein. Probably peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
In the accommodation rooms, I mean, there are a series of these. They are barely big enough to hold a bunk. They are slightly inferior to those aboard a second-rate commercial starship. There's a couple of these rooms that have been obviously used as junk rooms, where just various items are dumped that have no other place to live. Notably, a large number of whole, torn, and otherwise damaged pieces of outdoor clothing. There's another room that contains various basic medical supplies, most of which is in cases that have, some of them have at one time or another been opened to deal with some minor injury, cut, what have you, abrasion. And the other 6 chambers all look like they were in fairly recent use. 5 of them have clothing and personal items that belong to a mix of a male and female crew in various degrees of tidiness. It seems like they have all been searched and notably lack any items. You don't find any personal items like jewelry, personal electronics, or any form of Sword Worlder's cash. The sixth room, when you first look into the room, it immediately makes you think of a starship cabin. Someone who did not like to pack and unpack, and it looked like they were living out of their luggage. Nothing has been, or a few items, but mostly nothing has been put on the shelves or hung on hangers, and it appears that they just lived out of their bags. There are no bags, but the tidiness of it reminds you of a starship cabin.
So among the personal belongings, is there a way to identify the people?
Well, you do see that there is a blood trail that led from the main chamber to the sixth room, and it has, of course, been cleaned up and doused in the solvent-based cleaner. Without knowing, I mean, there could be a possibility. Depends on if Xerxes is capable of getting into the portable computer, of which Clanker comes stomping into the airlock. You can hear him stomp off the snow off his feet, and he comes walking back into the bridge and hands Xerxes the portable computer. And I mean, he says the obvious. You can see out the bridge viewports that it has started snowing. And he says, "It's snowing, sir, and I believe that there is a storm on the horizon."
Thank you, Clanker. Now, sit in the top turret. Keep an eye out. If you see anything suspicious, let me know.
And he says, "Aye, sir," and he goes back to go up to the top dorsal turret.
All right. I guess is the computer unlocked?
No, it is locked. You'll have to hack it.
That's why I
Alright.
sent it to you.
I kind of swap around some wafers and crack my knuckles and say, all right, I'm gonna start hacking into it.
Hold on just a second. Let me find out what this thing is. It is.
I'll also report to let Kaz and Audrey know that Clanker is on the top turret. Keeping an eye out. It's starting to snow. I'm gonna try to get into this tablet.
So it is a tech level 10 computer, so you get a +4 for tech, plus your intrusion and your not your agent, because your agent's busy doing something else.
Okay. Oh my god, I rolled shit, but I still got 11.
That actually might be enough. Check.
No, those are still snake eyes, unfortunately.
So no, you are having a problem hacking into this thing.
Okay.
The firewall is quite stout, but you are going to continue working on it. Did you include taking your time on that?
No, I didn't.
I mean, you can, and that would give you a +2, which would actually crack it. So, in here, so yeah, you take your time on it, and you get into this computer, and it is the port records. The first thing that is obvious to you is that Mithril does not get a lot of visitors. Shipping records for the past few months. Last visitor to the port was a far trader called the Iataka Wasab, which is it is noted that the name of that ship is a BWAP name, but there were no BWAP aboard. They were all humans.
Okay.
Before that, a subsidized merchant, the Jinfrey, came through a couple of weeks previously, and 3 weeks earlier, a Sword Worlder vessel designated as Supply Run 414 called to the port. Appended notes indicate that the subsidized merchant Jinfrey makes a semi-regular run from Zybon to Kaldabolg by way of the reserve world of Mithril, and is noted as being a friendly vessel. Her crew has some interaction with port staff. On this last trip, one of her passengers disembarked and remained at the Downport. There's no indication listed as to who this person was. Supply run 4-14 has an appended note that supplies were delivered and 4 personnel remained at the port. These people were Eric and Mintel Bothilder. They are noted to be explorer scientists, and their 2 children, Agino and Runa, are their assistants. And that's the only note that was left.
So we know that there was well, is it like 2 crew that usually are here?
No, there's like usually there's like 5.
So it's 5 crew plus potentially our spy plus these other 4.
Correct.
So there should be 10 people here. Instead we have bullet holes and bloodstains.
So looking at these port records, I mean, Jinfrey coming in, and the Iataka Wasab, those are rarities. Aside from that, the only regular run that comes in is this supply run 4-14, and it only comes about once every 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
So there's
So how long
there's
is-
normally no traffic that comes through here.
So how long until the supply ship is supposed to come back here?
Like another 6 weeks at best speed.
Okay. So if we can't fix this, we're here for a while. Unless another random ship just happens to stop by.
Right. I mean, I say another 6 weeks estimated, because it's not scheduled. Like it
Okay.
shows up when it shows up.
All right. But still, so as far as I can tell from the records, there should be 10 people here.
Right.
And we have I let everybody know that there should be 10 people at this outpost. And
Well,
instead
yes.
we
But
have
so far we found 0.
And a missing air raft.
Mhm.
Okay.
What is Audrey and Kaz doing?
Audrey will gather as much food as possible and then put it in the ATV and then drive it to our ship.
Yeah, that's the plan. We're gonna basically load up supplies and for now wait out the storm in the ship.
Okay. As you are in the process of loading up as much food as you can carry, there's plenty of cold weather clothing here available for you. In
We'll grab
fact,
some of those too.
Yep.
hold on here. I know what I'm looking for. I just need to find. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, wait. Derp. There's probably enough cold weather survival gear as well. I'm going to do this all in one kind of thing here. Whoop. I guess not. There we go. Sorry, I lost my... Oh, there it is. Okay. Got lost in my own computer. So this is advanced cold... advanced cold weather clothing.
We already had some from that other ice planet we went to.
Hi.
So there's no dexterity penalty from wearing this stuff.
Neat.
As far as like other equipment, like there's various other... The skis don't work. There's no snowshoes. It doesn't look to you like people that were here went out very far from the downport. And as you guys are gathering this stuff up, you start to hear something coming from the communications. Your own comms are picking this up. It's a very faint repeating signal. And Zerzy, you are also picking this up. It is a basic repeating signal, automated. It's the type that colonists or even lone starfarers would use when in distress. And it's just repeating and giving general coordinates. Those coordinates, when looked at on the ship's computer's map, shows that it's coming from a location about 2,000 clicks away. Down here.
That's pretty far.
Yes, but I mean, honestly, the ATV could make it. Now, it's of course not going to make it nearly as quickly as, say, an air raft would, but you could make it to the site of the repeater beacon probably within about 3 weeks. And that may even account for a return trip. Also, Audrey, you note that the ATV, the communication system in the ATV, is powerful enough that it can reach the starport. That it's basically as strong as the comm system that you have in your ship. So if a ship does come, let's say that they respond to Zerzy's hack of the orbital beacon, you would know that a ship showed up and would have the ability to talk to them.
Well, here's another question. As far as I recall, only our gravitics kind of got oofed, right?
Yeah, that's your maneuver drive. It is not functional. You have no other drive other than the jump drive.
I see. So wait. So all maneuver drives are gravitic.
Yes.
Okay.
And
All right.
and here's another little piece of information. If you get so far out from a star system on your maneuver drive that, let's say you're getting out past the Oort cloud, you only move at like a tenth of the speed, because the further that you get away from the mass of a star system, the less efficient your drive is, to the point where it will almost cease to function entirely if you're too far out in deep space. There is a way around that. It is called a deep space maneuver drive, but it's very rare. It's usually something that would only be found on like large exploration ships and things of that nature.
Yeah, because in most cases it'd be completely unnecessary, right?
Right. Deep Night Revelation had one, as a point of fact.
Nobody really uses chemical rockets anymore, huh?
If they are used, they're frequently used on small ships, like down to the size of a fighter, that need an instant boost of speed, and they can add that thrust to their maneuver thrust rating. So that's why fighters can get up in flat move at like thrust 16.
Oh,
Yeah, okay. Well, I just thought perhaps okay, but if the maneuver drive's completely fucked, then okay, so it goes.
Right. You is stuck. So this is the taiga forest that Xerxes detected on sensors. But after a while, you are starting to get a little bit of a better map, and of course, assisted by the data that you pulled in off of the port warden's portable computer. And this is kind of the map that you're bringing up, and it is showing that repeater signal, kind of a signal GK, SOS, whatever you want to call it, is coming from about 2,000 kilometers away. Now, the ATV on open terrain, basically being snow or ice flats, it can make normal travel at about 25 kilometers an hour or 250 kilometers per day. Each of these hexes is 50 kilometers. Um, there are, of course, some areas that are going to be, dangerous terrain if you wanted to drive through them. And of course, proceeding cautiously will slow your movement, but not be as dangerous. Reckless driving is the opposite. And driving at night would be problematic because there's literally, I mean, this is true even if you were traveling on a forested planet. Um, traveling, driving for more than 2 to 3 hours at a time, is wearying on the driver. And so it would be recommended that you swap drivers out like every 2 to 3 hours. That's up to you. And driving at night is going to be difficult because almost nobody can sleep in a bunk on an ATV that's bouncing around all over rough terrain. So the question is, what would you like to do?
well, what is the range of the ATV?
Pretty much
Nearly,
nearly endless. It's got 100 years worth of drive time on a full
If-
Oh,
charge.
well, then that's not a problem.
yeah. If
It
you'll bring
would
up the
theoretically
thing,
drive there.
yeah, if you'll bring up the thing, it actually has a fusion power plant,
Yes.
which means that it's good for a while.
Yeah, it's at
There we
its
go.
cruise speed, which would be medium, or I'm sorry, slow. It would have like 100 years of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, okay. Then I guess we could get in the ATV and drive to the distress signal.
Right, vacuum protection sensor system approved. That's good. Mini galleon fire extinguishers. Well, who needs those, right? Yeah, okay. Well, I am gonna take all my medical supply. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this thing, we're gonna drive it up to the ship, and then we're gonna start transferring our stuff into it. Because it looks like we're gonna kind of have to leave it because the rails are here and we're gonna have to leave the ship.
Oh,
So
can we fit
yeah.
enough food for a few weeks into the ATV?
We'll have to.
All right. Well, there's snow everywhere, so water won't be a problem.
Well, yeah,
Mike's
actually,
muted.
question:
Okay.
is the atmosphere like breathable? Is the water here like fine, non-contaminated?
Is it regular drinking water?
Your mic's muted, center.
Yeah, there is some fresh water, but for the most part, these continents and ice glaciers are sitting in a saltwater slurry. So there is seas, very frozen seas, but if you're looking for fresh water, it is available.
Okay,
Okay.
then you don't have to worry about that.
The galley aboard the ATV does have a survival still built into it. Probably the most hated piece of technology across charted space. It will feed you. It can basically turn any pretty much organic stuff into a edible gruel that tastes like crap, but it will allow you to survive. And there is refrigeration unit for bringing additional foodstuffs, and the foil packet foods. I mean, that stuff it's ever fresh. It'll last forever.
Could we hypothetically, and again, this is entirely hypothetical, could we strap on some extra storage containers to the top of the ATV, maybe like welded on or something?
Sure. I mean, you could attach them to these ladders on the back that go up to the roof, or I mean, there's a number of. It's an all-terrain vehicle. There's a plethora of tie-down points for extra shit.
Yeah, okay, good. I think we're gonna want to do that because like I definitely want to bring my medical supplies. We really should load up on food. Yeah, like we should also take some of the stuff from our own because we have an improved kitchen, which is, has a ton of flavor packets so that the gruel is less suicidal.
Yes, there is that. All right,
So
so
yeah, I mean well, so yeah, I mean we'll just do that, right? Any objectifications from anyone?
Oh no, but we can store the meat outside because so
Yeah.
it will stay frozen because it's
Yeah.
cold enough on the planet already.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Medical supplies too, probably.
Oh yeah, we definitely would need those.
I don't have any objectives to it. I do have a few things I would do before we leave, though, just to kind of cover our asses.
okay.
Um,
Like what? Tell me.
I would like to leave a message on like can you like potentially like leave a message on like the door into our ship?
Sure.
Let them know the coordinates, the direction, the time that we leave in the ATV to go to the signal. I'll make sure that our ship, I lock it down so the other way we can get into like the safe everything else is through the bio locks, so it's all secure, and just make sure there is a trail so that way if somebody shows up, they know where to go to find us.
Okay. Yeah, you can leave a message. You can even make a similar like automated message that broadcasts as soon as anybody comes near the ship.
Okay, yeah, I would love to do that.
Sure. Not a problem. You don't have to make any rolls on that. So what's your driving schedule like? I mean, there's 3 of you, so 2, 4, 6. You're talking about a 10-hour set of daylight. So I mean, you could essentially basically do 3 shifts of 3 hours each, which would bring you about 9 hours and give you an hour to set up camp.
Is Clanker able to drive also,
yeah.
or no?
Yeah, Clanker.
I would say me and him don't
maybe?
have any driving skill, but
I mean,
Well,
maybe.
you can drive through the boring parts without driving skill, and then if we go to any difficult areas, Audrey can drive through there with the driving skill.
That's a possibility too.
I mean, yeah, I mean, two of us have essentially night vision and thermal vision. Clanker, I believe, also has that. Audrey does not. So
That is
she
a good question.
Yeah, but the big issue is that like we won't be able to sleep while the ATV is moving. So
Yeah, it's not going to make for restful sleep. You're not going to get anything out of it.
Well,
Right.
then we'll drive during the day and sleep during the night.
Mhm.
He has olfactory.
he's got
recon
broad
sensor.
spectrum.
Yeah, broad spectrum would allow him to see pretty much in every wavelength.
I'm just trying to think. I tell everybody right off the bat, I'm like, I don't really drive.
I'm a
I
noble.
know-
I don't drive myself.
It's beneath me a little bit, but I mean, hey, if I crash it, it only means that we'll all probably die, except for Clanker. He'll live essentially forever. So
Well,
as long as he has sunlight, he's good to go.
right. All right. So,
I mean-
next, now that I got you listed out there, what route are you taking? Now, you know from the sensors. I mean, this Taiga forest is so dense that you're probably not going to be able to drive the ATV through it. So you
We can
guys
go around it.
talk real quick about which direction you're going. I'll be right back.
Let me bust out the ruler. So,
Yeah, I assume we have to go south and then.
yeah, start off south, and then probably through here.
the thing is vacuum sealed, so we can probably cross that river, and it does have a water drive.
Yeah, it probably has a wade mode or whatever, and go through that, cross the river, and then while we're by the sea,
Probably-
we can do fishing
Yeah,
and go around the
I mean,
forest. And there's probably
we could spend a day just like having whoever else in Clanker prepping like a lot of like long store shelf life food.
yeah,
Like our ship has a nice kitchen.
and there's he has steward, I have steward, so presumably we'd be able to like can some stuff.
Like I don't think we're gonna run out of food here unless something happens to our food, which I don't see happening.
So the other thing that Audrey, looking
Mhm.
this ATV over, you know that it is amphibious.
ooh, that's even
Now-
better.
Now, having said that, that only means that it can go through, shallow lakes. It can ford a river fairly easily. You're not going to want to drive this thing off, into the open sea and get very far, because even if the sea is calm, this thing's only going to move at about a tenth of its normal speed. So you're going to be moving exceptionally slow, and the second that the ocean starts to get a little bit choppy or a storm comes in, everybody inside is going to get beat against the walls, and there's a real danger of this thing tipping over and killing everybody. Though it'll probably still
No.
keep floating, it'll probably just wash your corpses up into this tin can on a beach somewhere. So taking an amphibious vehicle out into the open water is not advised.
Yeah, no, definitely not. No, we're just gonna need to cross that river that's coming up.
Yeah, crossing the river, that'll be fine.
Yeah, so basically, I think
Forest.
Audrey has the right idea. We kind of go around the forest. We go.
That.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
There.
Yeah. All right, so that's
Yeah.
your general plan of action.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
So these these white areas, these are snow plains. You can pretty much move at normal speed. I mean, you could even decide to travel fast, basically doing 30 kilometers per hour instead of the 25, and probably be okay. These areas, the light blue is ice, which isn't going to slow you down either. Obviously, these are all taiga. The seacoast is this light blue is either seacoast or a lake. Obviously, this is open water. Anything with lines through it is broken ice. This kind of stuff up here is broken terrain, which means that there could be rocks that are jutting up through the snow and ice, or it could be a mountainous region, things of that nature, which will affect your overall terrain driving situation. But there is a storm coming in, and by the time you get done poking around throughout the downport, it is starting to night is starting to fall. Were you going to, once you've got the ATV packed up, were you going to stay the night in your ship, or are you setting out at night?
We're gonna stay the night. Also, there was something on the thing called the pit. I want to, everybody loves a deep dank hole. Let's
Sure.
we should investigate that too before we head out.
Excellent idea. So yeah, you get the
But this is next day, so we are going to sleep and blah blah blah. Yeah.
right. Yeah, you
Yeah,
wait.
without the storm, get some sleep.
The storm has passed. And as soon as the storm passes, it seems considerably warmer. Like the yesterday when you showed up, it was about -10 degrees. It dropped down to like -40 during the storm. The storm has passed, and today it's hovering between 4 and 8 degrees Celsius. And so it is considerably warmer than it was the day before. But you come over to this pit, and at the end of this road, I guess you could call it, is what appears to be they dug a refuse pit. And it looks like there is just many years of, garbage items that have been disposed in here. Anything from, a combination washing system that malfunctioned went in the pit. There is an old wrecked ATV that is, at the bottom of the pit and is just completely mangled. There's a number of broken tables, fittings, sharp pieces of, rusted metal that are sticking up and out of this. The other thing that is immediately noticed is that it has recently been lit on fire. And Audrey and Kaz, you can make a investigate plus intellect check.
Oh boy. No.
Oof.
No.
Yeah,
We're just staring at it like, huh?
Yeah, there's just a pile
that's
of
interesting.
black and burned trash.
Well, yeah, it's very unfortunate, but good thing I'm wearing my vac suit. I want to go down there because I'm wondering. So there should be a ton of bodies here. Well, not a ton, but there should be some bodies. Where did they go? And I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that, blackened pile, and I'm, getting certain suspicions. So I'm going to go down there and look for organic
Okay.
residue.
Go ahead and give me an athletics dex check.
I am gonna set up. We're gonna pick up some of the. You said there's some cold survival gear, so I am gonna set a piton and some rope.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and give me an athletics dex check, and you can add a +2 to that for taking precautions, and actually make it a total of +4 because I assume you're going to be taking your time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Honk.
Okay, so you climb down into the refuse pit and avoid impaling yourself on any of the sharp objects, twisted metal, and you do find 3 burned bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Their clothing, all personal identification, has all been doused pretty thoroughly in what appears to be white lightning and solvent and lit on fire. You can go ahead and make a, if you wanted to, you can make a medic plus intellect or education check to collect, um, samples.
Sam.
But other than that, I mean, just from visual, it would be impossible to make identification.
Yeah, I wouldn't be expecting much, but yeah, I'll collect some samples. Let's see. I don't have my med kit, so that's what. Actually, no, I would have my med kit. Well, would I climb with my med kit? Yes, I would. So no. So I. Okay, yeah, that's another 10. So yeah, I will collect samples, and actually, I guess in that case, so once I collect samples, I climb back out. And then we're gonna go back to the ship, and the autodock functions as a biology 2 workstation. So
Right.
yeah, let's run through autodock, see what it tells us.
Okay. So cross-referencing with the port warden's records off of the tablet, you do get some information. Let's see here. Yeah, you get 3 names that, according to this. Oh, actually, I know where I can get the names. Let's see, or maybe. Let's see. It looks like one of them the was the commanding officer of the Downport, otherwise known as the port warden. The other one was a maintenance engineer that was tasked with maintaining the reactor. And the last one was a basically your typical jack of all trades kind of guy.
All right. So who are the people that are not in the pit? That's the real question.
Right. That is the real question. So, yeah, I mean, by the time you wake up the next morning, you scan or you get some samples. Assuming that you got up early enough, you are ready to set out.
Well, that wasn't entirely a rhetorical question. I more meant like checking against the the roster. But yeah, I mean, we'll handle
Well, I
that
mean,
enough.
all the roster. I mean, you know who they are, as according to their genetic makeup that was kept on file. Beyond that, you don't know where the rest of everybody is. They're not
No,
in
no,
the
I
pit.
know. No, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So basically, it's a safe assumption to that the others killed these guys. So we need to have a potential list of killers, which basically okay. So we have this potential list of potential killers. Cool,
Yes, I mean, maybe you don't know.
maybe right. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Um, uh,
Cool. And before we leave, how do you want to gather spare ATV parts
yes,
from the garage
Yes.
to bring along?
you would grab spare
Yes.
parts and keep them in the tool chest in the ATV.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Look at my incident report. Oh, make that easy. Okay. So who's driving? Well, I guess I should. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. Roll a d3.
I only have drive G bike, so 4 because Clanker could be driving. Oh wait, Zerzy can't. Okay, yeah.
Me,
never
me
mind.
and Clanker both are at -3 to drive.
So it happens on the third shift. Um, um, so yeah, I don't know who's driving at the last part of the day.
Uh, I have driving. I have drive 0 because my driving specialty is grav, and I think so's
Oh, I
yours.
see what this is saying. Never mind. There was no incident. So, yeah, you head out. First day, you make camp. You have no incidents on the first day. See how well we do on day 2. Still on plains or open snow. Nope, no incidents.
Borno driving.
So this one happens on the second shift. So probably it's probably Audrey that's driving. Who wants to make an electronic sensors plus intellect or education check?
I have electronics comms, so I can make electronics at 0.
Sure.
That's a 6, so probably not.
You are getting a strong sensor return coming from this area. The sensor return that you're getting pinged back to you registers like it may be a large metallic object, possibly either a vehicle or a ship.
Let's investigate.
Okay.
Does anybody have any objectifications?
No,
All right.
it could be people who need help
So
Or salvage,
or
which
want to
also
kill
needs
us.
taking. Yeah, either or.
you drive a little bit more on into the later half of the day and kind of deviate from your course, and you come up to what appears to be a large tracked ATV that is kind of rent onto its left side and is kind of partially buried in the snow. One of the cabin doors is open, and you can see that there is a couple of packs that it's obvious to you that this has been here a while because the packs themselves, the actual fabric has literally rotted in places and shredded away and is blowing in the wind. But you see this tracked ATV is just kind of wrecked here.
Well, let's investigate it anyway. So, putting on my vac suit, I'll and grabbing my laser rifle, I'll come in and check it out.
Okay. So you poke around and you find that, I mean, this thing is obvious. It is a very old model. It was probably old when it came here. You're guessing that this wreckage is probably a couple of decades old at least. But like they said, the fabric on the packs and whatnot has rotted away in some cases and is shredded and blowing in the wind, but still not in the worst condition that you might find on another world. The cold has actually preserved a lot of it. The vehicle's obviously been stripped of anything that the crew could carry, which suggests to you that they survived and made off on foot. You're not sure what caused it to crash. Right now, when you're standing over this area, it is knee ankle to knee deep snow. But
Well, I guess I want to check for the obvious, right? I want to check like did the treads blow out? Did the engine explode? Is there signs
like
of an explosion? So,
the left half is like buried in the snow. It's impossible to see that left side.
hmm.
But I mean the tread that's sticking out on this side seems like it's serviceable. I mean, possibly if you were to get it into a vehicle bay, you might be able to restore it, but you're not sure what the other side looks like. The inside, of course, is all kinds of torn apart. It's been salvaged, and a lot of the bins that were on the right side are now towards what would now be the ceiling, and there's doors hanging open and whatnot, but it's not immediately evident what caused the wreck or what state the other side is in. There's no power to it at all.
See, because my only concern is like what, because what if there's landmines or something, or like some sort of terrain hazard that we should be on the lookout for. Our ATV doesn't have like a winch or anything to pull this guy out, right?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't believe so.
Bring it up and take a look. Does not appear to.
No, I guess we could push it out with the digger blade, but
Up to you guys.
what do we think, guys? Do we want to try to pull this thing out, see what actually killed it?
Doesn't really seem worthwhile.
Like I said, I'm concerned about terrain hazards, but it might not be worth it.
You
Uh,
do know there are terrain hazards.
Yeah. Is the computer operational?
No.
Okay. No, yeah. Well, sorry. The computer's obviously non-operational. Can the computer be given power? There you go.
Yeah.
You can probably run a wire from our ATV to their
That's what I'm
ATV,
thinking. Yeah. Or hell, use
and
one
at
of my
least
power
recover the
packs.
storage
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
of the
So,
data.
Sure.
yeah. So
Go ahead.
we'll do that.
Go ahead and give me a mechanic or electronics computers, either one plus intellect check to you. Or no, I guess it would be engineering power plus intellect check to jack it in.
Okay. I will assist Audrey.
Sure.
So you
So
take a
Audrey
plus
gets
one.
a +1, and if she wants to take
Oh,
her
okay.
time, that's
So
a +2.
rolling engineer.
Yep, engineer power plus
Okay,
intellect.
so engineer
Plus one and take the time. So we're done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, +3 total.
+3 total. Okay. Ooh,
Nice.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, so Audrey and Kaz, you guys get the power kind of extension cable plugged in, and this computer kind of slowly comes alive. It's a lot slower. This ATV looks like it's probably. Let me find my. This is what I want. I need to find. So this particular ATV looks like it's probably around tech level 10, around the same tech level as the Sword Worlders, but it is a different design. Looks like it was probably imported from off world somewhere, outside of the Sword World. It looks like pretty much a generic tech level 10 ATV. Um, Much older than even the Sword Worlders design. The computer in it's very slow. It comes up and the last navigational reference is that it brings up is that they attempted to drive through. There was a warming period, and the ATV attempted to drive through an ephemeral glade. The ground beneath it kind of gave out. It was overly muddy, and a chasm kind of opened up under that left tread, and they got stuck.
Okay, well, good to know. So now we know. is there sensor data that we could then feed into our ATV so that it could warn us about these ephemeral glades and these chasms that might open up?
Not really. In fact, the data that comes up, a lot of it looks very different from this map that you're on right now, because it's all weather based.
Oh.
So I mean, depending on
Well,
the temperature, the landscape can change, the ice flows can change. Even where the warmer areas, there's going to be more water.
all right. Well, let's collect the weather data and just collect all of this thing's data. We might as well. And yeah, then let's make like a tree and leave.
All right, so
Okay, continuing on.
yeah, essentially you make camp and make another night. Let's see.
And then back on track.
All right, so back on track. Looks like right about the river, you will see here. I didn't roll a 1 and a 2. I rolled a 4 and a 2. Interesting. All right. Well, either way, nothing happens. You guys spend the day. You make it to this glacial river that comes down along the coastline and meets the coast. The ATV performs admirably. You're able to cross this. First time taking an amphibious vehicle, actually amphibious, is a little nerve-wracking, but you are able to skate across this shallow, icy river with no problem. Third day.
We caulk the wagons and float. If there's any Zoomers in the audience, you won't get that reference.
No.
Oregon Trail. When you got to the last river.
Oh, I was just thinking of those amphibious vehicle rides in the Wisconsin Dells.
I haven't been to those. I've been to the ones in Boston. It's pretty cool actually. Like, and you're right. The very first time it happens when the freaking thing is about to drive into the water,
It
is
feels
a little
weird.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So on the third shift of day 4, you guys are driving along. You're just about getting ready for to make camp when a large geyser erupts nearby, of geothermal geyser shoots water up into the air, causing some slippery terrain movement. Who is on third shift for driving?
If Audrey's on second, I guess it would be me.
Okay, go ahead and give me a drive wheeled plus dexterity check.
Oh, okay, well, I don't have drive wheeled, so I have regular drive, which is therefore at 0.
Better
Uh,
than you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I kind of flub it. Yeah.
It's not terrible. You are able to kind of maneuver through this. It does slow your movement down a little bit. The entire area, as soon as this geyser comes out, kind of turns into a soupy slush that definitely slows down your forward momentum, but nothing terrible happens. You make camp. Let's do day 5.
Son of a bitch.
All right. A 10 along the coastline. You're just off the coast. wrong dice. So on the first, again, it would be Kaz. It's on the first shift. You move throughout the day, and you run into a blocked passage. A large chasm has opened up in the snowy plain. That you're going to have to either go south around it into the coastline, or you're going to have to go north, which there's an or not ephemeral, a taiga forest up to the north and rougher terrain to get around it. Which direction do you want to go?
Well, we have the weather data, and presumably we can still communicate with our ship. You said, and we can see the coastline like from where we are. What's it looking like? Can we take the coast?
Let's check the weather. Yeah, the weather's cold, so it's about the average negative 10 degrees Celsius. You don't see any storms that are on the horizon, so yeah, you could take the coast.
Yeah, I'd say let's do the coast. I don't want to deal with like the taiga or the ephemeral glade or whatever. So yeah, I think coast is best.
Okay.
Sounds good.
We're not going to go too deep, like, just enough to go around and, yeah. And nothing bad happened.
And nothing bad happens. No. You are on day 6. Whoops. 8. Nothing happens. Day 7. Again, nothing happens.
Casimir did bring his entertainment system with him, so we at least got that going.
You got tunes going.
Okay, good, because it is going to be boring otherwise.
Well, and my VR helmet, because again, why wouldn't I?
Just don't use it while you're driving.
No. It's for the people at rest. Yeah, no.
When people aren't driving, they can play Beat Saber.
So at this on day 8, on day 8, you're starting to get into into icy terrain, which doesn't slow this thing down at all. There's really not much to run into. And as on the 8th day, you're actually starting to come in towards where this signal is. And as you come into range, your communication system comes to life. And you hear like a flurry of people, like all seem to be standing around a radio. And you are contacted by the Bothhilder family. This is the scientific expedition that landed at the starport, and they are all asking questions so fast that it's hard for you to get a word in edgewise. But ultimately, they're asking, what happened at the port? And then they tell you that they heard a garbled distress signal, and they want to know if you've seen Egil and Katrine. Have you seen them? And then, more questions about what happened at the port.
Are you going to Katrine the guys we found in the pit, or they're the other ones?
They tell you that Egil and Katrine were here in the they came here with them in the air raft, and but there was some argument about having to, because there was a distress call from the port. Egil and Katrine wanted to immediately abandon the expedition and go back to the port. And of course, the Bothilder family was not very happy about that, because that would have stranded them out here, and a fight broke out, and Egil and Katrine took off in the air raft. But they haven't seen them since, and they want to know if you've heard anything from them.
Nope.
All right.
Flat out tell them, no, we haven't.
So you know that there's an air raft out there somewhere. I think that we're going to go ahead and break here for tonight, and we will pick up next week with you guys meeting the Bothilder family and seeing what is going on with their scientific expedition. And what exactly are they doing out here at the ass end of the universe on an ice ball? Next week.
There you go.
At 6 o'clock on Wednesday.
Okay.
Well, all right. Thank you very much for running.
You're very welcome.
Next week.
All right. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good one. See you guys next. Oh,